My name is Aaron Jones, and I'm the president and CEO of IPS Global Aviation. IPS is a company that truly cares. We put our heart and soul into this organization. We operate 24 hours a day.
Surf into summer celebrations with a wave of unforgettable gifts from Crown Jewels & Coin. For graduations, marriage proposals, and this season's tide of occasions, we have the lowest price on pre-owned Rolex watches and fine jewelry. Design your own wedding ring from the state's only Bellagio selection and choose from diamond jewelry starting at $299. Easy financing available. Catch the brightest rays and capture shining moments with a heartfelt gift from Crown Jewels & Coin. For all you treasure, San Mateo, north of Candelaria.
What's up, everybody? This is John
and Ben,
and welcome back to Creative Kill, where the guest always has a killer experience. And today's episode is a little different. So, on episode 5, Ben, I told everybody, all of our audience, and it's kind of it's building bigger and bigger, but we want to feature independent horror people.
Exactly.
Yeah, because I mean, the studio they have enough press on their own. They have these marketing budgets that are fucking insane. And I just saw one for the new, what's it called? I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Yeah.
And they're running the hook guy. Yeah. They're walking him through docks and stuff. They're doing these viral campaigns, which I like. Smile did the thing where they were at the baseball games and the people were smiling like this and shit, but yeah, so what we like to do here at Creative Kill is we like to feature independent horror filmmakers and films. And today our episode is we did a remote interview with a gentleman out of Minneapolis, Minnesota named Morley Nelson. Mm-hmm. Morley was fucking awesome, dude. And I did the interview by myself. Nobody could really be on it because of time constraints. And I'll just kind of give you guys what happened. I lost a friend, and I had to take a little bit of a mental health break. And Morley was scheduled, and we were scheduled on with Morley at that time, but then things got kind of a little weird, and then 4th of July, yada, yada, yada.
Right.
So that's the reason why, just to let everybody here know, we are about to do this big 5-episode drop. I know this is episode 12, and you're about to see a lot of episodes coming out, right? And so I just wanted to kind of give you guys the history of what's been going on with us, but we have 5 episodes in the pipe that are going to drop this week. So this weekend, I know it's crazy. So our first one, like I said, the first one we are announcing today is Morley Nelson. He is writer, director, actor, producer of Uncontained, and that's I can't wait to talk about this. But first of all, let's go ahead and feature our sponsors. You want to go ahead and do our first one, Spin?
Most definitely. So hey guys, just want to have a big shout out to IPS Global. They are freaking awesome. Love you guys. All tacked up.
That's right. IPS Global Security.
Oh yeah, baby. IPS all day. And New Gamers Center as well. Duke City Toys, Crown Jewelers & Coin. Really appreciate you guys. Love what you do over there.
Dude, did you see that silver? Okay, I'm just going to say it on this because we can say it. That silver bullet I did for that giveaway. It's real. Okay, it doesn't fucking work, people. All right? We're just going to let you guys know that.
It's more jewelry than.
It's more jewelry, but it's pretty cool because we're going to do those. I'm going to actually, Ben's got one. Wolf's got one. Yeah. I'm going to do another couple giveaways because they donate those to us, and then they give them for giveaways for marketing purposes, stuff like that. So go ahead. Anyway.
And finally, Boutique Buds. Love you guys.
Boutique Buds. Yeah. All your cannabis needs in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Boutique Buds. I know. Hopefully this won't be taken down because of that, but it is what it is. Okay, and then, hey, Ben, guess what? We got some new ones.
Ooh,
I'm super excited to announce these. Okay, so our new sponsors are going to be KH Photo. That's Carl Horgowich Photography, and I just butchered his name. So this is my new thing. I did this on the other day. What's up, Carl? We love you.
Always, man.
I told people my slasher thing is I butcher names. I butcher names. Like, I'm not a real slasher, but I'll slash your name up.
Right.
Anyway, so Cage Photo, they do real estate photography, landscape photography, headshots, all that kind of shit. Okay. The next one, I cannot wait for us to go and eat at this place. It's called Cali Burrito. I've already eaten there once. I reached out to them and then they hit me back up immediately. They're like, hell yeah, we want to be a part of the Creative Kill family.
Heck yeah,
So
bro.
we're going to go there. Thank you, Cali Burrito for sponsoring us. Our third is HSI Integrated Security Systems, and that is kind of the same thing as IPS. IPS doesn't do as much as these guys do. They used to be called Heights Lock and Key here in Albuquerque, and they are the best locksmiths you can possibly have in this town.
Nice.
I worked for them. I did some work for Mark and Robert over there. Robert, you're amazing, but I got to tell you about this guy, Mark at HSI. Mark is like the best fucking safe cracker in, I would say, the region.
Nice.
No, I'm serious. Like if you go into their storefront, like their storeroom over there on San Mateo and Lomas, they've got all these safes, but this fucking guy can get into any safe you need to. So if you guys have a safe or some kind of lock that's fucked up here in Albuquerque, call HSI, call Heights Lock and Key. They'll take care of you.
Man, I have to do a little Heights short with him.
I know, right? Well, I already told him. I was like, hey, man, we want to come. I want to interview Mark because Mark, I'm sure he has some really interesting stories about cracking safes, and I'm sure he's just got some really interesting shit.
Right.
Anybody that's in that industry, you know, this always does.
Mhm.
Okay, and then let's jump on to the Achievement Gallery. The Achievement Gallery is a promotional company, basically. They do like T-shirts, they print cups, any kind of promotional material or items.
Very cool.
You know, all that swag you get at like conferences and stuff.
Right.
Achievement Gallery. Melanie there. Melanie is so sweet. She's one of our family friends. I love her so much. Thank you, Melanie.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. And then our next is going to be our new legal sponsor. And I love this because he's coming on the show next week.
Nice.
Adam Oakey Law Firm. Adam Oakey is the black belt attorney.
All right, man.
Yeah, I know. Adam used to be an MMA fighter. We kind of ran in the same circles when we were younger here in Albuquerque. We kind of both have the same stories where it was like, you know, we were a bunch of degenerate.
I was gonna say.
And then we became these productive members of society. Right. And I do love Adam because Adam has been so charitable here in this town. He advocates for people that just cannot catch a break, whether it's, you know, criminal or whether it's civil stuff. Mm-hmm. He's a great lawyer, guys. So Adam Oakey Law Firm. And our final one, so this is going to be fun. So I went Sunday. It's called High Chroma Tattoo. Okay. All right. And you know, I like my tattoos. I've got one right here. They're going to do a couple more for me. I'm going to fix this. Stephanie Andella. I'm sorry. I'm probably butchering her name. See, Steph here in Dallas. I know that's me. I'm the butcher. That's my serial killer name. Right. Anyway, and I think maybe I should just start doing that. Just to fuck with people.
I know, butcher of names, killer of worlds, you know.
Yeah. John's gonna introduce every guest, but to fuck up their name, right? That's so I can butcher their name. Anyway, so I went to their shop. So I met with Chelsea and Aldo. Mm-hmm. They're a couple. They own the shop together, dude. I've been in some tattoo shops before, and nothing against the tattoo world. I love you guys. We're actually going to the tattoo conference this weekend. Mm-hmm. 3 Coin, who I'm going to announce here, he's actually sponsoring that. Sweet. But here's the funny thing. Their shop is so clean and so nice. They've got like this sitting area with like water and like sodas and all this stuff. And then when you walk in, it feels like a tattoo parlor, but it feels a little different. It feels very clean and very like, if you're new to tattoos, I would suggest High Chroma because those people are amazing over there. I love them so much. And finally, it's going to be, so let me explain what 3 Coin is. So 3 Coin, everybody's like, oh, what is 3 Coin? 3 Coin is a brand. It's a t-shirt brand. And he's sending us some merch, but he also is a professional poker player.
Oh, that's awesome.
His name is Randy Coin.
Randy
Yeah,
Coin.
yeah.
Like
And
that.
so Randy he's jumped on the sponsorship, and Randy is actually going to be part of our film now too, as well. So
okay.
I'm
Welcome to the
making
team,
that
Randy.
announcement, Randy. Yeah, welcome to the Creative Kill
yeah.
fam, baby. We can't wait to have you on. So
Most def.
that's all of our sponsors today, guys, along with 519 Studios. We want to thank the city of Albuquerque since we are here right now, and we also want to thank Wolf Krusemark Art, where our new t-shirts are going to be coming out very soon. We're actually I'm going to be wearing one in the next episode to introduce it for Melissa Mariner, and then we've got Brooke Smith, and then Kat Podrell, and then today we're shooting the Carlos Duran episode. So I'm super excited about all these. But anyway, let's jump into this. So Morley Nelson, what's up, my friend? So today we're going to introduce actor, writer, producer, director Morley Nelson. And Morley, okay, Ben, you saw the film.
Yep.
What'd you think?
First off, I have to give a shout out to the cinematography on it. Beautiful.
That's what I said to Morley.
I mean, for the budget they had, too. On
dude, he worked with a 55.
I mean,
he did it for like 55, 56.
Yeah, the shots were beautiful, very well thought out, very meticulously well thought out.
So let me get into what that's great, but let me tell you the backstory. Okay. This is fucking crazy. So Morley is he's like me. He's former law enforcement. Okay. He did some, I guess you would say consulting or experts, on film sets where you have like your firearms expert and you have your people so he did that. And then I think he did some writing for the Walking Dead video game. He did some other things. But anyway, he's an actor, he's producer. Morley, we haven't sent him the offer yet, but he's probably going to be in our film as well, because I love, when I saw Uncontained, I was like, holy fucking shit, the intensity of this guy. It is fucking so intense. Yes. It's like, I love
edge of your seat for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So here's the backstory of this. So COVID hits, right? So Morley wrote this film, and he tells us the story that he wanted to make this film. He made this fucking film in Minnesota in the winter time during COVID. Yeah. Hold on. With his fucking family. Oh now there's actors in it, guys. Okay. There's actors. Okay. All right. But the little boy, the little girl, and the wife is Morley's little boy, girl, and his wife. Okay. It is fucking insane. And guess what? They never acted.
I was just going to say, that's the part that's crazy, because they do such a good job.
I know. Dude, the boy especially, man, he is a little intense.
Steals the show.
I know he does. He does. I think he's really, really great. Yeah. So we're not going to tease. We're not going to give away too much because we don't like. But anyway, it's apocalyptic zombie film. Yeah. Just to let everybody know. Morley wrote it, directed it. He did everything himself. Like you said, the cinematography was
so good.
Phenomenal.
So good.
Phenomenal, guys. It's a very beautiful shot film.
Gosh, man.
And then he kind of, we touch on it in the interview, which will come up here after this, but we discussed we discussed like the future of Hollywood and where everything's going. Mm-hmm. And, he's kind of like we are, Ben. If you're not doing it yourself right now, it's probably not going to happen.
Probably ain't getting done.
I know. It's a huge hustle, everybody. And when I say hustle, it means like you're working your fucking ass off for nothing until you can get to this point. So anyway, Morley it's a great movie. It's an apocalyptic zombie movie. We're not going to give away too much, but guess what, guys? We're about to jump into this interview. So we want to thank Morley for coming on the show, and we hope you guys enjoy this remote interview. So Creative Kill, where the guest always has a killer experience.
Always.
What's up, everybody? This is John Roberts here with Creative Kill Live, and we are joined by director, actor Morley Nelson. What's up, Morley? How you doing today, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good. I see you're in the house that you shot Uncontained. Yes. Is that correct?
You are right. Good eye.
Yeah,
Good eye.
Your house. First of all, I will touch on it in the segment about your film. But I got to tell you, you have a gorgeous home. You have a gorgeous piece of property.
Thank you.
I mean, all of those shots. I mean, Morley, it's fantastic. I mean, I was sitting there and I was showing Carl. I was like, dude, just look at this window there. Just goes up everywhere. I mean, when you see the zombies beating on everything, I'm just like, but the scenery behind it's so beautiful. I mean, it really was. So Morley, we talk everything true crime, supernatural, and horror. And obviously, you are a horror director, writer, producer. We'll let you get into you. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry for us, and like the film industry, and you got going. I mean, I know you and I have talked about, but our audience is going to want to know how you got started. So can you go ahead and tell us that quick story?
Absolutely. Yeah. I was a cop, and I was asked I got to turn my phone off. Sorry. I was my wife and I were actually on our honeymoon, and I was approached by a producer, and one of M. Night Shyamalan's producers sent an email asking if I would advise on one of his films. And so, of course, I said yes, and I did that. So the first film experience I had was the John Eric Dowdle directed, M. Night Shyamalan produced movie Devil, where we talked about it. Yeah, so the elevator movie, right? So that was my like introduction to feature films. I'd never read a script before. I'd never been on a film set before. And then I was fortunate enough, while I was at that studio lot, another feature was shooting, and they had either fired or their advisor had to leave for some reason. And their office talked to Knight's office and they said, yeah, use our guy. So then I went from a $40 million movie to a $100 million movie within the matter of like a week.
Wow.
So I just really, really fortunate in that regard. And then I ended up asking the writer of Devil, Morley Nelson. He wrote Hard Candy and 30 Days of Night and everything. We're not related, but I asked him if he would like, hey, can you give me some hints? How do I write? Like, how do I do, like, I have a lot to say. How could I say it? And he was extremely gracious this time. He mentored me. He sent me stuff. He read all my terrible scripts. He read, I can't remember how many, but like 29 scripts later, I ended up writing something that actually got produced.
Right.
But he kind of guided me along the way. And I was very fortunate to continue to work and technical advise on films. And then I got into technically directing segments of television shows and films. And then my manager at the time said, instead of teaching actors how to act like a cop, why don't you just act?
Yeah.
And so then I got into acting, and I was a theater major in college. So I ended up, I got a really good break. I was in a drama, suspense drama, and then COVID hit. And when COVID hit, it was like, no one knew what was going on. No one knew how long it was going to be. And I had this TV series that I had a Bible with a 5-season pitch deck. And I ended up, that was Contained. So it's a television series. And I thought, how could I shoot a movie during COVID that would be like an intimate introduction to this gigantic world?
To that series.
And exactly. So that's how Uncontained came about. And I ended up writing for the home that we live in, and for my kids, and for my wife, and for our dog, who is somewhere around here. But
is that the dog in the film?
Yeah, our dog's in the film. So that's the dog.
That's the little dog. Okay, great.
Yeah. Scout.
The whole family got involved. Everybody.
Yeah. She's the one that, she's probably one of the better actors in the movie. I mean, we have fantastic actors, but as far as taking direction and being on cue, I mean, like when she taps my son's stomach a few times to nudge him, she did that every single time. She was right on cue. She always hit her mark. She didn't complain. She was in and out of makeup super fast. Wow. So, she's perfect. 11 pounds.
That's great.
Yeah. Doggy hair, doggy makeup. Yeah. So
go ahead.
And then that's kind of how that's the first feature I've directed. And
started.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's kind of where we are today. And then currently I'm working on the prequel and sequel. So
okay, well, I was going to get to that here in a little bit when we start talking about the film. Well, Morley, let me tell you real quick. We like to know our guests. We like to know their tastes. So we asked 3 big questions. So I'm going to ask you the first question is, Morley, what is your favorite horror movie that's not your movie? I'm just going to tell you.
Right.
Yeah, we all want to say that our favorite horror movie is our own movie,
Right. No. That's an excellent question. And I would say, as a true horror fan, I don't really have one, right? I think depending on, there's a bunch that I go back to that, certain points in my life. I think I've been a horror fan for a long time, since I was a little kid. Yeah. And I'll go back to Jaws, not just because it's such an emotional journey.
Morley, that's mine. I mean, Jaws is my favorite movie of all time.
It's fantastic, right?
Knows this. I've got Jaws stuff everywhere. I just went to the Cinemark and bought the cup and the popcorn.
I
don't do that. I don't usually buy those things, but it's the 50th and I had to,
Yeah, I think, the Jaws is phenomenal because I think Spielberg does a great job of connecting us emotionally to those characters, and then you really, really care. And you're so involved that, like, at the end, like Spielberg says, it doesn't matter how realistic or unrealistic when the shark blows up, Roy Schreider shoots the air tank and he explodes. It's like that, that would never happen in real life, but no one cares that you want that to happen because you care so much. You're so invested.
Yeah.
But I think the other thing about Jaws that for me, I love the movie, but I almost like how the movie was made and the lore around the movie almost as much.
Well, all this BTS stuff's coming out now that we're seeing, and it's the challenges they went through. I mean, we talked about being in film challenges, but those guys, holy shit! I mean, they dealt with some issues. But I also think since Bruce, and for people that know, we're talking about Bruce the Shark, since Bruce was breaking down and everything all the time, they did that really cool POV shot when it's going through the water. And I talked to my parents about this because I was born in 77, so that was when it came out. And I talked to my parents, and they actually took me to the drive-in to go see it, and I think I was an infant. That's what my dad always claims it was my first movie. But he even says, it scared the shit out of everybody. You didn't want to get in the water, you didn't want to, and it just gave everybody these fears and realizations that when you go in there, you may not come back. I don't know. That's awesome.
I wonder what other film has been able to tap the social conscience like that, where people are afraid to go in pools, right? To this, right? Because what's behind me, you don't know. But lakes, even in a lake, there's no sharks in the lakes, right?
I know.
But still, the fear of not, I think he did a really good job, whether he intended to or not, of making the unseen scary, right? Like, I know Ridley Scott for Alien, that was a conscious effort to make the unseen scary, whereas, Spielberg had to deal with the shark, Bruce not working, right? So I think, like he said, the barrels, that saved him. When it did work, that saved him. The score of giving the feel that Jaws was there, even though you don't see anything. That was genius, right?
That was.
So, I think all that is phenomenal, but I wonder what other movies, has there ever been a movie since Jaws that makes...
I really can't think of one like that. I mean, they've tried, but I just don't think that anything's ever been that impactful to society. But so here's my second question.
Yeah.
You ready? Who's your favorite horror villain?
Horror villain? Oof, that's
or
tough.
Horror star or hero? I mean, I look at them, we call them villains, but I'm like, they're the stars.
Okay. Yeah, you mean like Jason or Michael or Sam. Man, that's tough. What's Taylor Lautner's character in Twilight? No, I'm kidding.
That's funny.
Yeah, that's tough. I gotta quit making that joke because people are gonna be like, I think Twilight's his favorite movie.
That's what I said. I said, do I need to pull in one of my millennial PAs to get in here and talk to you about Twilight? Because well, I met Ashley Green and I don't know the others, but they were here at a con. They were nice. They were sweet people.
Yeah.
We talk about audience showing up for fandom. I mean, those kids, they've got a following. I don't think they probably ever have to work in the industry again. They could just do Comic-Con circuits and just make their bank like that, But
I mean, that's what I like about movies and art in general is like, it's not for me,
right?
But it's for a lot of other people, right? And I love that, right? 100%. Like, and that's what I don't like, and I think it's interesting because I think the horror community in general is very supportive and very friendly, and we were kind of the actual outcasts growing up, but now we're not, and we have this, so a lot of us have a trauma or an life experience, like and almost everybody does, and that kind of, you get the catharsis through watching horror, right? And that in itself builds a great community of support. So when we have like a couple of like naysayers or people within the horror community that like, crap on other movies or whatever, I think that really stands out because it's so rare, right? Like we do have a lot of rage baiting and stuff.
Well, I think now, Morley, we're getting to the point with social media. We've seen it to where some people just hate on it because they want the clicks. It's not even that they're really invested in it. Because I tell people some of the worst stuff I've ever seen, I still love it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm just talking about cheesy, campy. It's like and the other thing is where you just touched on, not that we were the freaks and geeks, but we kind of were that love these things. It's kind of like sci-fi and, anybody likes comic books or whatever. But now this pop culture craze has happened, and we see that people who actually do like horror, and they're afraid to tell people we have this community now that they can come to. And I noticed a lot when I started going to horror conventions and kind of doing, because you've read my scripts, but one of our scenes is in a horror convention, but it's just the community around everybody, and everybody really does love everybody, and I think that it's really easy to criticize somebody on a screen like this and just talking to nobody than rather sitting and talking to an actual person who put the work in. I said that before, and I say that's how I've kind of connected with you with independent horror films. I really think that that first of all, our genre is one of the number one genres in film. It's top selling, at least. It's one of the, if you got a selling script and it's horror, somebody's gonna probably buy it. They want it. So it's so we'll just go ahead and check up your villain as the Twilight Kid.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
And then our third question, real quick, Morley, is what horror movie or true crime or psychological thriller, whatever, what has stuck with you? What's been rent free in your head? It always kind of comes around. And you're like, man, that movie really got to me.
With two kids, a dog, and a wife who's super intelligent and challenges me all the time, and then also writing all the time, every ounce of space in my head is fully rented. Like I don't have anything rent free. Like it's all, in fact, I'm jacking up prices as we speak. But I don't, there are I watch, I think like a lot of us horror fans, I watch so much just so many movies and so many shows, and I think at any given moment in my life, whatever emotions I'm going through might bring up something, but there are a lot, right? Okay. I mean, there's a lot from like Perfect Blue to Greasy Strangler to just all kinds of stuff. And I think I've talked to a few people about this before, and sometimes it's not even a horror movie, it's a horror moment in a movie.
Yes,
that will stick in my head, like Battle Angel Alita, Robert Rodriguez's movie. There's that at the very end where they reveal that Jennifer Connelly's character is just like eyeballs and a brain.
Yes,
floating.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Right? Like you just that in a second. It felt so bad, didn't it? Like you're just like, oh man, they did that to her. Like what? And it feels like a crime almost that there's not a sequel.
Right. I think that there's kind of like a movement for them to make a sequel to that. They really want. I mean, it's got a huge cult following, and I think that let's just see what the studios do, because they love, what
sequels and remakes and IP, right? Like
right on.
Easy for marketing. But I think I guess if you ask my kids, subconsciously, I've been thinking about this, and I think subconsciously it's not, I guess technically it's not horror, but the film that probably lives with me the most, that I quote the most, is Highlander.
What's that?
It's Highlander with Christopher Lambert.
Highlander. Yes.
Yeah. So I quote that all to my dog, to my kids all the time. I'm walking around and I'll say like, get upstairs. It's time for bed. I'll tell you that for nothing. Or eat that food. It's good. I'll tell you that for nothing.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Or who. And then every now and then they have no clue because they haven't seen the movie, and they're not old enough yet. But I'll say stuff like, "There can be only one." And
yeah,
like,
right.
What?
Well, I gotta say, we go back to Jaws real quick. I constantly quote Jaws, and one of my things is like when I'm out with the guys, I'm always like, "Here's this woman with bow-legged women." It's like it's just one of my favorite. He may be my favorite character of all time. I'm sorry, he just is so complex. Yeah, and I've actually got an interview with a gentleman. His name is Ryan Dacko. He's going to come on in a couple of weeks, but he did a prequel called The Book of Quint.
Ooh, interesting.
Yeah, it's an audiobook. It's an audiobook. Yeah, I haven't listened to it just yet because I've been dealing with all of our stuff, but I guess it's great. Everybody's giving great reviews. I can't wait to hear it because it comes from Quint's point of view and how he was, after the Indianapolis and all that stuff. Yeah. That's great.
Man, Robert Shaw did such a great job.
He was drunk as shit the entire time, though.
Yeah, well, and he was that scene where he Hooper, ain't you watching? He was like super sick.
Yeah,
like you hear Richard Dreyfuss talk about it, and they're like they had to two guys had to help him sit in the fishing chair,
right?
And he just he couldn't move, he couldn't breathe, and then Richard Dreyfuss is like, oh, we're not shooting today. There's no way.
Yeah.
And then it came time for his line, and he spins around. And he's like, "Damn it, Hooper, ain't you watching?"
I know.
And he's
just
like,
turns it on, baby.
Yeah, he's so intense.
That was fun little 3 questions. But now I want to get to Uncontained. We've got to talk about this film because I got to tell you, man. First of all, I want you to give kind of the history and the background of how you developed this thing. Okay, so the audience does know because we have a lot of people here. Once we put this thing out, I'm going to try to blast it for you as much as possible because I love the film. And if you're, it's very deep. I'll tell you that. I feel like there's a lot of emotion behind a lot of this, especially with your character. That's your son, right?
Yeah, son, daughter, and wife.
Okay, I just wanted to confirm that. Your son, he's going to be a little heartbreaker, man. I got to tell you, he is a good actor. He's a really good little actor. And so tell me how this whole idea came up. Tell us the origin story, basically, of Uncontained. And then I'm going to ask you a series of crazy questions.
I think, I was watching, we were watching some, a Disney movie. I can't remember what it was. And I was like, what if they were zombies? No, I'm kidding. It was... It came about mostly because I wanted to do something, with my working in working in film and television. You're away so much from your family, and even when you're at home, if you're writing, you're not really there with your family. And I wanted to do something finally with them. And I feel like as a writer, if I know who I'm writing for, it's a lot easier because I can get their diction and tone and intonation and their pacing down. And I'm convincing my wife, who's she's in investment management, convincing her to act in a movie because she has zero interest in this life, right? She'll come with to premieres and things like that, and she's great at talking to people, but she really has no interest in being an actor or producer or anything, even though she'd be phenomenal at it. But I had to convince her. What's that?
I loved her in the film.
Thank you. She's a badass, right?
Yeah.
That. Yeah. It was easy to write that for her. But it was the main battle was convincing her. And then once I convinced her, I was able to convince her to oh, let's use the kids and let's, she could care less about our dog, but the kids were, it's let's get them in. And then
tell our audience, you shot this during COVID.
Yeah. Yep, we shot it during COVID. In fact, we shot it during the Omicron variant. So we shot. It was we budgeted for. I was able to raise $55,000 from a single investor. We had 80, I think 85. I'd have to ask our main producer Rachel Palachewski. I think 90%, 85 to 90% went to payroll. And then, you know, we had budgeted for a 15-day shoot. We actually wrapped because of our awesome assistant director, Catherine Hatam. We were able to wrap in 14 days.
Oh, wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. We went from first week, we were 3 days behind. And then the second week, we ended up, I mean, she made up the time. She's one of these people that, regardless of all the programs and AI and everything else, she had sent me a picture. She was sitting in her apartment surrounded by Post-it notes to do the schedule.
Yeah.
And once she had that done, it was always in her head. So anytime we had to shoot something, she could figure out, oh, we could do this, this, and this. And then unfortunately during COVID, a lot of our actors that we had cast dropped out because they got COVID. And so we had to replace them immediately and in short notice. And then we would have to switch, like, some actors. So besides my family, all the other actors are from LA. Our main antagonist, Peter O'Mara, is from Ireland. And so, you know, they're coming in and we only have enough money to pay for them to be here for a few days.
Right.
And so if somebody else is sick, you know, a lot of our shots ended up being split screen because they weren't actually there because their schedule got mixed up.
Okay.
So that it was going on the fly. She was really good at doing, Catherine was really good at doing that, our AD. But it was, you know, height of the pandemic. And then on top of it, we shot in all of it in Minnesota. So we shot it all in one location. So even though there's 40 different locations, I was able to make it with camera angles and just knowing our property. I was able to know, like, okay, we'll shoot this direction for these scenes and this direction, and we get this, you know, hillside, and we'll get this tree, and we'll get, you know, so being very familiar with location and characters, the actors, the talent was helpful. But also shooting in Minnesota in February, our average like temperature was about 10 to 13 degrees below zero.
Yeah, it looked cold. Were you early in the snow? Like when you bury yourself?
It was all practical because we just
love it. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. Okay. Well, now I've got my series of questions. So I want the audience to see it, but I've got my questions for people who haven't seen it. So I want to touch on the Minnesota thing first. That's what I was going to ask you. So I was on location in Minnesota at your house. That's where the big location was, correct?
Yes.
And if everybody watches this interview, you see the film, you obviously see the house behind him. That's a big part of this. I feel like it's almost a character. This location's a character in this film.
Thank you.
It's fantastic. How long have you guys lived there? Do you mind me asking you that?
Let's see, Jack is 11, so 12, maybe 15 years.
Okay.
Maybe. It was, and so the house, the very nice part about the house is that there's this original home built in I think the 70s. You know, I wish my wife were. Can you hear me? When was the house built?
Tell her to come on in. I want to meet her.
She's putting the kids to bed.
My bad.
So the main house is built in 78.
We're an hour difference from you guys.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So she has to do all the hard work. And so the original house was built in like 78. And then there was an addition built, I don't know when, like a in-laws apartment. And I decided let's use that as like the production office.
Oh yeah.
So it has its own garage and fridge and, you know, kitchen and bathroom. And so we use that as like, that's where our wardrobe was. We put all the equipment in the garage. So it was very efficient. And then the room that has all the windows where you see all the the infected run by and whatever, and the kids are playing in that kind of I stole that shot from Kubrick, you know, where you're pushing in on the kids.
No, we're going to get to that next because I want to talk about your cinematography. Okay.
Thank you.
So we know about the house. So this is what I've got to tell you, first of all. This film is so beautifully shot. Who was your cinematographer or your DP?
His name is Bo Hakala.
Okay.
And he's like a king of commercials. So in Minnesota, we have, I think, the most Fortune 500 companies of any state. I could be wrong, but I think I remember reading that recently. And so we do a ton of commercials here, like for Target, Best Buy, 3M, General Mills.
Target corporates there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like all their corporates are here. So we end up shooting a ton of stuff. And so Bo is kind of like one of I'd say he's the top 5 cinematographers in our entire state.
Okay.
He's definitely the most sought after cinematographer. And so we were very fortunate to land him. And we didn't think we would get him because we didn't have the money. And so he's actually our third choice. So we went through 2 cinematographers who one couldn't do it, one got sick. And then we reached out to Bo, and he's like, because it's COVID, we were fortunate. And he's like, yeah, I'll do it. So the other thing that comes with a DP with experience with Bo is that he knows how to shoot outside. So when we have wind chills that are like 20 to 40 below, he knows like, okay, the battery's going to last for 10 minutes.
Oh, right.
Right. So all that stuff. But, we came together and talked about the script a week before, and how, I know for some, like the kids' room, we're only going to have 2 angles, right? It's a very small room with a bunk bed, but we have to reveal like the hidden safe room, right? And we have to reveal all these other things, and you kind of only, to make those shots interesting, you kind of only have a few angles that you can do that in, right? But Bo was able to pull a lot of that off. He had an excellent AC puller. We had great crew. And if we didn't have a great crew, we would not have been able to pull it off.
I mean, I rewatched clips today, and I was showing Carl. I let everybody know, they don't know who Carl is. He's my producer. But I was showing him, I was like, dude, you got to look at some of these, because he's a photographer, and he does our little stuff. Our DP on our stuff is Brian Taylor, who works with Netflix and all this, who's an amazing, like you said, he's like your guy, right? But these shots, your drone shots too, your aerials are fucking beautiful. I've got to tell you, the whole film is beautiful. I just kept telling everybody this. I was like, you guys don't understand. I was like, everything, it just makes you feel like you're Minnesota, number one. It looks so cold. You're obviously it was cold. You're in the woods.
So the nice thing about drone too is that we had a few of them, and one of our really good drone operators was Mario Howard, and we did the scene where we have the car like going forward, the POV of the driver. He actually was up through the sun, or the sunroof. So he's standing up there in the freezing cold as we're driving. So he's even colder, and he was holding his drone because the gimbal in the drone was able to stabilize.
We've had that happen before too here in New Mexico. We've got it called. Yes, we've had that happen a couple of times.
Yeah,
we shot a thing, and that's what happened to his drone. It froze up, and he's like, "Dude, the gimbal's broke." And I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. So with the technology that we have at our, it's not super expensive anymore. You're able to make things happen that I think you weren't able to do 20 years ago, or even 10 years ago.
Right. They were sitting on film, and we couldn't have done that. We happened to. I mean, digital has made things so much more easier and revolutionary, And now the tech is getting even better and better and better. It's getting better and easier for all filmmakers, especially low budget filmmakers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Yeah. So I love it.
Yeah, and I think too, we're really fortunate that our post house. So Charlie Gruszewski was one of the producers, but he was the editor of our film, and he's a partner that owns I think it's like the second biggest post production house in our state.
Okay,
but they do a lot of commercials, and he's been doing this his whole life, and he's excellent. But he's also he's very intellectual. He's got a super dry sense of humor. So when we're doing post production, it's great to have good shots, and it's great to have interesting angles, and hopefully you have enough footage that you can cut with. And I think we gave that to him, but he also had like great insight where he would say, "Well, why did you do this?"
Right.
And I'd say, "Well, because we're trying to get the feeling that there's just no way, like Jaws."
Right.
You don't want your protagonists. You don't want the audience to go, "Well, why don't they just leave?"
Right.
Why don't the kids just walk next door, or why don't they just get in the car and drive away? And I think because he had he's such an astute editor, and he had such a discerning eye. It was nice for him to be able to make these questions so that we were able to get the best film that we had with the footage we had as well. Yeah. So, and we ended up.
So I did one hell of a job, man, because it's gorgeous. I mean, it was everything. It's stunning. It's very smooth. I just feel like everything was so smooth, and it transitions well. Your editing team did fantastic as well. I loved all of it. I love the scene, like even the part where you go red.
I don't want to ruin it for people. You know what I'm saying? I love that scene. That was fucking awesome.
Thank you.
So I've got a couple. They're not silly questions, but they're just questions about your set and about the film. So
the sillier the better. Sillier the better. Shoot.
Peanut butter a real thing? That's what my daughter wanted me to ask you, because I was sitting there, right, and she goes, "Goober's peanut butter." That was the peanut butter that was up in the shelf. I was like, I think that's a prop. And she goes, "No, that was from 9-year-olds." Just to let you know. Okay.
Yeah, no. So that's funny that she brought that up, because so our art department was one guy, and his name is Jason Dean Thomas, right? So he was able to fabricate like that, the machine that converts energy from the treadmill to power the house.
Yeah.
He built that from ground up. He built, everything. Yeah. Everything you see, like the forks inside there's like 8 powerhouse cells or whatever, and the insides turn and everything. He built all that from scratch. Like the cereal, Froggy Pebbles, the Goobers,
did it all himself.
Like he is, and he loves films. He's a fantastic guy. But even the chocolate bars that we used were Workrilla chocolate bars after the director of Dead Snow. So everything is kind of a call out to somebody else. But it's interesting she mentions Goobers, because that's there. I think there are Goobers candy.
Yeah, Goobers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody eats them anymore, but I think there's still around. I think we could see it back in the old movie theaters and stuff.
Yes, it was like chocolate covered raisins or something.
Yeah, but peanuts or raisins or whatever.
Yeah, but no peanut butter. So but we do, one of the biggest, I think the biggest criticism we've gotten so far in like comments on our film is somebody commented, "I think it a Jif jar," and I was like, maybe I don't know.
That's the only thing. It's like, I gotta tell you, it's continuity, and everybody gets all like ate up about this and finds little things in films, which is fun to do. I've done it myself, but I don't ever call anybody out about it. It's and normally, Morley, those are those people that they've never made a film or been in film or done anything. They just want to be like, "Oh, you did something wrong." That's a gift jar. Anyway, okay, great. Now I've got a question for you now about your influence of like, okay, I see that you like snare the zombies, like they're in snares, the blue. So how did you came up with that, right? I love that idea, because isn't it where you guys are at? Do they hunt like that, don't they? They still do. They trap back there, don't they?
Yes. Yep. We have a lot of. So I believe if you're indigenous, you're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
I think if you're not, I'm not sure if you can trap. I'm not sure if you can trap or snare, but we do have them. Like you do use them. Like we'll have farmers that are upset with coyotes or varmints or whatever. So we do have that. But my idea behind the snaring was that, obviously at some point, I think, we have, I love the zombie subgenre, and I feel like we've gotten away from the original like Romero emotionality of it, where it's just like, let's kill as many zombies as we can. Oh, you're a zombie, too bad, right? But I think in the reality is, if we did have a viral infection, a lot of people I think in reality would be asking like, well, there will be a cure, right? At some point we would have a cure, so we should catch these infected people and subdue them, or so
you do research.
Right, like figure out like how can we,
that's how they figure out every disease. It's like we got to figure out patient zero, basically. It's
exactly
like, figure out who it is. The other one I want to tell you real quick, so you do have this is another little kind of like, how many times did you run on the treadmill? That's what like Carl was asking. He's like, man, he was on the treadmill a lot. I was like, yeah, he's probably on it. So you spent a lot of time on that, didn't you?
I run on the treadmill every day, and while I do it, I play video games.
Oh shit! No way.
Yeah, so that's actually part of real life. Like every day I run the treadmill and I play, like Halo, Call of Duty, whatever. Mostly Halo, but so that's kind of where that inspiration came from. And that treadmill actually in the movie. I killed that treadmill because I used it so much. So now I have a new one.
killed the treadmill.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, because that's obviously I don't want to give out too much, but yeah, we were like, Carl goes, yeah, there's a lot of scenes on that treadmill. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, I said, the guy's in pretty good shape though. We could see that. So obviously I told him, I said, I think he probably uses that treadmill a lot, you know?
Yeah.
So that was great. The other thing I wanted to ask you is this knife you're carrying in this thing.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Are you pulling it out right now?
Yeah, this one.
Yes, that thing is sick. Where did you get that? Did you ever get that?
I can't.
That thing is amazing.
So the thing I like about this is that, you know, if you really want to dissect like the knife, you know, you have the guard, the grip guard for punching, right? And then you have the wedge, so you can decapitate. Right?
No, that's.
And then I like the kind of the tanto kind of configured blade, but that's reversed from a samurai sword. But yeah, we had a couple of stunt knives that our art department, Jason, did end up fabricating just so we would be careful around like when I'm slicing up people, to make sure that even though this is dull,
right,
you know, you don't want to hurt anybody, but I think he did such a great job. It's seamless, but yeah, it's yeah. I always wanted to. I've had it for a while. What's that?
Was that his design, or is that?
No, I've had it for a while.
Okay.
I don't want to say where I got it, but you and I can talk offline about where I got it.
I just got to say that knife is a character in itself too.
Yeah,
that thing is. I mean, when we were all sitting there, I was like, "Look at that thing!" I was like, "I want more of the knife." I mean, you had the Beretta. The Beretta's great, you know, the 92F, but that thing right there, that's my favorite. One of my favorite parts of the movie is when you're knife fighting and you're taking out all those guys. You know, I love that. By the way, I love scenes like that. It's not like just you run around with a gun. Man, you went at it. You took those guys down. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. And so, real quick, you said the actor who played the antagonist, he's from Ireland?
Yeah, Peter O'Meara. So he was in Band of Brothers.
Okay.
He's probably the most quoted lieutenant out of Band of Brothers. And I always forget the name of the character that he played.
Okay.
But he played like a hilarious character in Band of Brothers.
I'm going to look it up. I own the DVD set, so.
Okay, yeah, you should check it out. But Peter O'Meara.
One of my favorite series.
He was in a TV series in Ireland that did really well called Love Hate.
Okay.
And then he's a great character actor, obviously, but he's been in a lot of stuff here. And he took on the role. He asked me who the archetype was, and I kind of told him, and he went at it. And you know, you've seen the movie. There's not a hint of Irish accent.
Hell no. That guy looks like straight up, and then what we call here, well, I'm from Texas, but redneck. Yeah. Like he is that guy. He's that guy, and you're in law enforcement. You've ran into that guy. I've ran into that guy. You know, just that guy who does not put up with anybody's shit. He thinks his shit doesn't stink. You know what I mean? I loved his character. I was going to say more. I really loved his character.
Thank you. Yeah, he brought him to life. He did such a great job. You know, and he's a mirror antagonist to the woman, right? The mom of the kids, right? They both ultimately whatever it takes to protect family, right?
Absolutely.
Except how they execute that is wholly different from each other.
Yeah, it's great.
Right? And
the daughter at the end, obviously. I don't want to ruin it for you.
Yeah. But I mean,
a pretty intense scene when you're walking out of the house.
Yeah.
You
know? Don't give it away. No, I think by his rights alone, in a different world, he would be the main character looking for his daughter, right? Like he's kind of like the Liam Neeson character whose daughter's missing. And he's like, I'm going to go find her and I'm going to do whatever it takes, whatever resources I need at my disposal. And I'm going to find my daughter. And then once he realizes she's dead, that's when he,
well, Morley, I got to tell you, I think that those type of people, they feel like, a lot of them feel like they're doing good. You know, there's these guys that, you know, especially you guys are up on, I mean, you're up near the border of Canada, right? But down here in New Mexico and Texas, we have, you know, those guys that think that they're protecting everybody and doing their job as a U.S. citizen or whatever, when they're actually kind of causing the problem, you know? And it's like, and I'm sure that's kind of, I mean, I'm just kind of trying to get into the character's head, but it's where they come from, and it's where probably what their father had done and their father.
Exactly. Exactly. That's exactly, I mean, that's very astute of you, because that's what I wanted to get at, where he was, you know, there's that scene where he's trying to pass down his legacy and his, like, what he's learned from his father to his daughter.
Hiding behind the law, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So it, you know, and that's, I too, I think in real life, I like to think I'm a funny guy, and I try to sprinkle a little bit of humor. I don't know if other, you know, any other people pick it up.
You don't want to take life too seriously. I get it. I'm the same way.
Yeah, right. You don't enjoy it.
Our backgrounds, we've already dealt with serious. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like we've seen.
Yeah, I like the Viking like outlook of life, right? Like it's when you're in battle or when you're going to war, it's you do whatever it takes, and then when you're not, you're having a blast, right?
That's
like
exactly right. Just, you
know,
live your life. You got to do it. You know, it's so he's a pretty nice guy, that actor.
Oh, I haven't met a nicer actor. Like, he's phenomenal. He flew in on his own dime.
He's probably a teddy bear, right?
Oh, he's hilarious. He's like, I think with a lot of really good actors, they're curious about life, like a lot of life. And he's always curious, and he's always trying to learn. He asked me, so he's not the only one. A lot of the cast from LA asked if you know, how dangerous is it going to be shooting here in sub-zero weather? Well, which is legit if you've never been.
No, it's a legitimate question.
Yeah,
you know, what safety concerns? You know.
Yeah, and one of them asked me, if I'm not going to say who, but they asked if their eyeballs were going to freeze. You know, and I was just like, you know, and then for him, he came in a week early on his own money to climatize, and then he enjoyed it so much. He stuck around just in case we needed to do pickup scenes, because he's, you know, very experienced actor as well. But yeah, he's smart, very intelligent. Always.
Is he back in Ireland now, or does he live in LA?
So last time I talked to him, he is in Ireland right now. Okay. He does have a home in LA, but I think he's in Ireland right now. Like, he might be in LA, but he goes.
Probably working out in Ireland more than we're working here.
Yeah, a ton more.
You know what I mean? It's like the whole industry's moved over there, man. It's crazy. You know, we've had that conversation too. And I just talked to. I haven't released the episode yet, but I was talking to another. She's a filmmaker here, performer, actor, and it's just bad for all of us right now. You know, it's. I don't know what we're gonna do, but anyway, I want to get back to. So I've got. The next one I wanted to ask you, okay, let's talk about your family. So how did like you pitching your wife, hey, honey, I want you to be in my film? And I know it was during COVID, because you just said, and you kind of touched on it earlier, right? Yeah. And then the kids too. I'm sure the kids were thrilled, right? Were they thrilled?
So Brooke was 2.5, 3 at the time. And you know, I don't think she knew what was going on.
She didn't even know what's going on.
No. So
she's just smiling like, Daddy, this is fun.
Yeah. And she was like, you know, I know you have a lot of like mama bears of the set, but she's like baby bear of the set. So she like ran around and just loved everybody.
That's awesome.
And she's super talkative for her age.
It's the same thing with my daughter Charlie. She loves it. We have her. She'll see it. She's on episode 13. She actually, she helps us. Yeah.
Yeah, like something about girls and their brains developing faster than ours. You know, they're smarter than we are, and it's just it's like, as a dad, it's just so fun to watch, isn't it? Like,
it is like, amazing. This year, this is the first time I've introduced her to everything that I really do for a living. She didn't understand it. She knew that Daddy worked in TV and film, but she didn't realize that she loves horror because she likes, you know, she watches kid stuff, you know, that's like scary. But then she started asking if she could watch some more adult themed stuff. And I told her, I said, yeah, let's, it's not going to be like Terrifier or anything like that.
Right.
But we watched The Visit, M. Night, you know, and it's intense, but it's not overly gory or anything like that, you know. And it stars 2 kids, you know, that are shooting their little documentary at the grandparents' house. She loves that. It's funny though, because on Friday the 13th, we shot this episode where we're making an announcement, and I can say it on this too, because it's already been revealed, but where Kane Hodder is coming to Albuquerque, and we're interviewing him in a live show.
Oh, nice.
So we've got a theater here called the Historic Globo Theater that we've rented, and we're doing these Creative Kill live shows, and we're bringing Kane in for our first show on the 13th of August, and so it's going to be Wednesday the 13th. Now, but it's funny because when we were sitting there and we're going over, like, you know, just what Friday the 13th was about, and I telling her, and then I showing her some clips of, she goes, "That guy's not scary." And I was like, "What?" She goes, "He just has a mask on, Dad." And I was like, "Well, I haven't shown you when he takes the mask off." But
I don't.
Go ahead.
With you, I don't know if you've experienced this, but showing right now, my son's 11, and showing him older movies from like the 80s or 90s that I think are phenomenal and fantastic, and I'll show it to him, and I'm like, "Oh, is he too young? Is he right? Is this going to scare him or whatever?" And it's the same reaction where they're just like, "That's not scary." I mean, it's just you're like, "Oh,
you know? Minecraft is scarier than what."
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like. She's like, "Dad, have you ever seen what a creeper is? A creeper in Minecraft?"
Yep.
You know, and I'm like, "I have no idea what you're talking about." Until we went and saw the Minecraft movie, you know, and then I kind of started understanding what this Minecraft world is a little bit more. You know, she loves it, but usually I'm playing Call of Duty, you know, like what you said. So it's,
but you know, I think a lot of it that, you know, Minecraft for their generation, they all have played it, right? And it's interactive. It's not just passive participation. They're watching it. And when you see something like an Enderman, that's messed up, right? And they've been playing it since they were like, you know, 5 or 6 or whatever. That is scary, especially because you're experiencing it from as an active participant. So
you're like a POV shot. You're like sitting in there and you're like, "Whoa," you know.
Yeah, you're moving around and
you know.
Yeah, I think, and then when you watch something 2-dimensional, it's just like, And it's also sad to me that my son, at least, sometimes the pacing obviously is a lot faster today than it was 20, 30 years ago.
100%, yeah.
And they just don't have the patience for it. So I want to kind of teach him the patience for the character build. We've been working
on that as well, Morley, at our home. Yeah. So I do give screen time. I do believe in that, but this summer we both decided because I had a problem with this son of a bitch right here for a long time. You know, it was like I couldn't get off of it, and that was right during COVID and all that. Yeah. We were just all kind of like, you know, stuck on our devices. Well, when I came back out and I started working again, and then she came out and she was on I can't tell you what show it was, but she was on a show. And she got kind of the bug. She got bit when she was on this television series, you know. And she was just a featured extra. But at the same time, there was all these other kids, and she saw the life of it. But then she was like, and she was 6 at the time. And she was like, "Dad," she's like, "I want to create something. I want to do something like you do." So we made this little, it's on our YouTube channel. It's called Charlie and the Chicken Nuggets, right? I made it. But then the next summer, we did another short. But this year, she told it, like, as soon as she came to town, Morley, she goes, "Dad, I want to make a real horror film." And I said, "Okay." I said, "What are we talking about?" And she goes, I'll just kind of give you the prisons. She goes, "I want it to be a teddy bear that's possessed by a witch." And I said, "Got it." So Ben, my co-host, and we've been working with her. She's actually coming up with dialogue. She's doing everything. She's telling us, we're letting her play with the camera a little bit. I bought a rig, small rig. I bought a small rig for the iPhone. You know, she loves to use it. We bought all this just kind of little lighting stuff from Amazon. It's all cheap stuff. But she now is, because she's an artist too. She loves to draw. She loves to paint. That's everything. Her mom's an artist. Her mom went to the Fashion Institute in London or something, and she's a fashion designer. and she doesn't work in that industry anymore. But they have this very artistic, mind, and I've saw that since she was a small child. I mean, since she was a little baby. I mean, like 2, 3. She always loved to draw, paint, and of course, it's kind of our family. We love the arts, and so. This I'm not gonna lie, I'm loving it that she wants to be a part of Daddy's world a little bit. I am sheltering her away from anything in the film industry unless it's something that I'm doing and I'm a part of. I won't let her go work on it. I mean, I'd go there and be a set dad if it's just a day playing thing, but
right.
I feel like kids in the film, career kids in film, like the Disney kids and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I saw it firsthand here on a show called Loud House. That's what she was on. And, I'm just talking, I'm not even talking about the show in general. I'm talking about the way these kids were kind of treated.
Yeah.
There's that documentary that came out called Quiet on the Set.
Yep.
And and that was Nickelodeon. And I was just kind of like, I watched that and I said, maybe it's a good idea to just do stuff with us. And she's going to theater camp. She's going to do all that stuff. And I told her, I said, I said, Daddy perfected his craft. I said, this is what we have to do. We have to practice. It's like going to soccer practice or basketball practice because she's not interested in playing sports. She wants to do art. And so we're pushing that. And, but it's fun because I get to, hey, what's up, man?
Are you still recording?
Yeah, we're still on. What?
Oh, no.
Yeah, sorry. The car bumped his head. Woo! Hey everybody, just let you know this is our creepy producer Carl. He likes to pop in and out. We're wrapping it up. So anyway, but yeah, he it's been a really great experience now, and because she's becoming a little young person now. It's not a little toddler or even 6, 7. It's a young person, and she talks and she's inquisitive. She wants to know things, and that's what I love about. I got to tell you about the film. Your son and I know Brooke was, your daughter she's tiny in it, but your son's performance was fantastic. And you can tell him that a director from another state saw him. You can show him this video and you tell him that John Roberts thinks he's got it like his daddy, but at the same time, man, he did great. His intensity, I mean, he gets it from you or his mother. I don't know who. Maybe both.
Maybe both. Yeah, a little from A, a little from B.
But Morley, he is, I mean, first of all, he's cute. Cute as a button. He looks just like you did. I got to tell you, you and him. I was like, oh, that's his boy. I knew that. I was like, that's his son.
Yeah.
But he's, even when he delivers his dialogue, I was like, what? And this is a first time, he's a first time actor, right? This is the first time he ever did anything like this.
Yeah, all our actors from the state itself this is their first film.
Yeah.
So my wife, the kids, the sheriff, and then the woman that played my wife in the film, it was all their first feature.
Okay, well, they all did fantastic. What about the zombie, the girl that played the zombie in the snow that's snared? Is she a first timer?
She does a lot of Shakespeare and performance art. She's a contortionist.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell. Yeah. She went crazy, dude. In that one scene, we give it up. I mean, when we talk about walkers, or you call them, what are they?
Infected. Yeah. Oh yeah, debtors,
debtors, walkers, whatever. That scene where your wife goes up to, but she's frailing and going nuts. I love that kind. That's my favorite kind of zombie intensity. I'm just gonna tell you.
Yeah.
Like 28 days later, I love World War Z. I love when they run at you. I'm sorry, I love that. I mean, I enjoyed The Walking Dead, but I like it when it's almost real life. It's like, if something was this way and it has the same muscle control as we do as human beings now, why would it be like that? Instead of doing a full at you.
And the intensity is so much better, right? Like it's just the frenzied, rabid, feral human is scary, right? Yeah. Like it's a scary being if you take away all the guardrails that we have when we're conscious.
One of the movies that kind of stuck with me, do you remember The Crazies?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, the original and the remake with Timothy Olyphant.
Yeah, with Olyphant.
Yes.
Yeah, that movie really. I was just like, oh my god,
Yes.
That again, that was great. Yeah. So let me look here real quick and see if I have anything else for you. We've already we talked about the Deaders, the family cast. Oh, your wife, real quick. Let's just say, so it's her first time acting on film. And when you pitched her to be in the film, and obviously it was COVID, and you needed an actor, was she like no at first, and then she was like, you know what, let's try this, let's do this?
Yeah, she was still working like 60 hours a week, and while we're shooting, she was still working full time. So she was working full time. She would take the kids. They stayed in an Airbnb while we shot, because we're shooting at night and things like that. Yeah, no way they could sleep. So she would ship them back and forth. She was taking care of them, working full time, and shooting her scenes for us.
She's a super mom, man.
Yeah, but I didn't tell her that it would be that hard, because I knew then she'd say no. So,
hey, that's what we always do. No, it's not going to be a hard shot at all.
We'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Just a few hours. Yeah, a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes.
Just a couple minutes. We're only going to read that 60 times.
Yeah. This is take 7. She was upset. I think the most upset I've seen her in a long time was I think it was her first scene. She's sitting outside the door. I don't want to give it away, but she's, sitting outside.
No, outside the where I know what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah. And she, she's got to cry, and she can cry pretty easily. But what neither of us thought about was that when you're acting outside, your face muscles, all your muscles kind of contort and or contract. And so your tear ducts get tight, and you can't cry. It's really hard to cry, because of course your body's protecting you, because if you cry, your teardrops are going to freeze.
I never even thought of that. That's awesome.
So she was mad at herself.
It's crazy to think about. It's like every single little element when you're shooting any kind of weather counts. It's funny.
And you can kind of tell, if you really, really listen to the dialogue during the film, you can tell if it's the first take versus like a later take, because the later takes, you're kind of talking like the acting, you're kind of talking like this because your face is frozen. Yeah, it is. So that part is, there's multiple challenges shooting in cold climate outside. But yeah, it was a blast.
We don't have the same kind. I mean, we get cold here. We're in the mountains, but we're not Minnesota cold.
No.
I think I did a scene. I think the coldest I've been is I did a scene in Duster that's it just released on HBO, and and it's in this old warehouse, and I don't think it's gonna make a cut anyway. But it was like 2 degrees outside, and then inside it was an old power plant, and it was, oh my god, I play a cop, but I couldn't even move my hands, And then I just recently did another one. I did the cleaning lady, and I play coroner in it. And it was just, they called me to day play real quick. They're like, John, you're not even really going to be seen. We just need I know how to work a gurney. Okay. That's what it is. And so I get a lot of ambulance and gurney work. Yeah. Right. And so I'm sitting there, and my hands were so cold. I'm holding them like this, and safety and they came up to me and they were like, oh, we got to get you inside right now. And I was like, good, because I can't even, the handles on the gurney, you had to pull it up and down. I was like, I can't even hold it. I was like, the actress, we had a stunt actress on that I have to zip up the body bag because it's a dead woman, right? And so I'm sitting there doing that, and she's like, are you okay? And I'm like, you have a blanket on you and this body bag. I was like, it's me in a windbreaker, because you're supposed to be in Las Vegas in the summertime. You know what I mean? But we're shooting this in the middle of December in the desert here in New Mexico, and it gets pretty chilly during winter time here. So anyway, but yeah, man, that's great. I just got to tell you right now, I'm kind of concluding this thing, and we're going to kind of wrap this thing up. But I got to tell you, Morley, I tell everybody that does this, great fucking work, great work, man.
Thank you.
I'm telling you, this is a great film. This is a great film. More people need to see this. We're going to get this out there for you. I'm doing this because I like you now as a friend. We've talked a couple times on the phone. We're pitching ideas to each other. We've got this other, I've got my project. You've got your thing going on. But I've just got to tell you, congratulations on this, on Uncontained, man. Very successful. I love the film. And that's not me just bullshitting. I'm going to tell you, I love the film. I did. I really did. And I think more people need to see stuff like this. And the reason why I'm saying this now is because you have given light to other filmmakers. You said you shot this for like 55, 56, right?
Yeah, 55, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. That right there just tells me that anybody that works hard and really dedicates themselves to this industry and to what they really want to do, they can prove that they can make their dream happen. And you did it, my friend. You did it. You did it successfully. I'm going to tell you that you did it. I mean, I'm very thrilled. I didn't want to ruin it for some of my people, but we do these screenings. We get together and we watch this stuff. This movie's on the next screening with my people, so they can kind of pitch it and talk, because we're going to keep advertising your film here moving forward, man.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I do this for people for the podcast just because, I talk to, some of the Terrifier guys. Fuzz Off the Lens guys, they just announced Stream 2, that they're doing. That's Stream is one of their other films. But it's, us guys that are doing it this indie way versus the big studio way, they don't realize, I mean, I'm sure both are difficult, but this is difficult on us personally, emotionally. We don't have $100 million to go and just do, hire a huge crew and do this. And then the people that work with us, some people may think we're crazy and do this, but when they see a finished product like yours, okay, like Uncontained, that's when there's hope, man. And I'm telling you right now, you have given indie filmmakers hope. And that's what I want to tell you right now. Congratulations on this film. I loved it. I give it a 10 out of 10. Your son gets an 11 out of 10 for his performance. I'm going to tell you that. You have a great performance. Thank you. Your character is very in-depth, but I don't want to give too much away because there's a lot of little twists and turns throughout the whole thing, and I don't want to give away on how the virus or how the thing affects people, like what happens in your film when you wake up in the snow, right?
Right.
And, oh, by the way, the one thing I gotta tell you, I love the throat cutting scene too.
Thanks.
I love it. You were so good. I love it. It's that kind of threw me off, man. I was like, holy shit. I was like, oh, here we go. I was like, here we go. I kind of wanted to see your son go zombified too and start taking people, but
yeah. I could, but can't give it away yet, right?
Yeah,
when he does. He was.
Then,
I was really impressed when I was kind of surprised as a dad, but also as a director when we have that certain scene at the table and he starts to cry. I did not ever ask him to cry, and so for him to find that and be able to cry at the time he was 7 or 8 was a shock to me, and I was just proud as a father, but just astounded as a director that we were able to get that right.
Yeah,
so that moment.
That's what I was gonna say. You got to be proud as a dad too. You're just like, oh my god. I mean, I don't know if I would have been able to keep it together. I'm just gonna be honest with you. Like, if I saw Charlie, do something and I have seen her. I've seen her get really emotional. She shot this scene last week where she's in a classroom and she turns around and she has to be like, kind of like she's zombified or she's just out of it. Something's happening with her. And she got into this headspace. I was just like, whoa. I was like, now I like that. And she's like, thanks, Daddy. She comes right out of it. But I love it. Your son's performance, everybody's performance in it. By the way, I want to tell you, everybody was great. Everybody was fantastic. Your cast was fantastic. Your crew, the directing, it's all great. This is a really good movie. I want to push it, get it out there. More people need to see this film. I do have a question though for you. You just said it earlier, but you do have some like prequel, sequel.
Yeah, we're working. So we're working on the sequel. We're working on the prequel and the sequel right now. So I'm currently after we get done here, I'm going to finish polishing the prequel, and then we're in development on those two right now.
Man, congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I really am. This makes me feel great, dude. This makes me feel great as a filmmaker to see people's success like this. And I just got to tell you, man, it was great. Uncontained was great. Congratulations, Morley Nelson. Everybody, this was Morley Nelson. Oh, did you want to say something else?
No, this is great.
Okay.
Thank you.
We're going to go ahead and wrap up this interview, everybody, today. But this is Morley Nelson. He's actor, director. He stars in Uncontained. His family's in it. They star in it as well. But he directed it, wrote it. Everybody, I'm looking at you in the camera right now to tell you this. See this film. This is a great horror film. This is one that really, really sits and resonates with you. It's a fantastic feature. So we highly enjoyed it, Morley. We thank you for having us on. And so anyway, Morley, we want to thank you for being on again. This has been a very, very great interview. I can't wait to work with you because I'm going to work with you in the future. We're going to get this thing done. I think you're an amazing actor, amazing talent. And so real quick, guys, I got to plug some sponsors. Sorry, Morley, I got to do this for my sponsors. Crown Jewels and Coin, thank you so much. IPS Global Security, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Duke City Toys, awesome. New Games Plus, thank you so much for sponsoring us. We have some more sponsors, Wolf Krusemark Art, 519 Studios, Joy Horror Entertainment. Michael Joy, you're the best out there. And so we are wrapping this thing up, and we want to thank everybody for joining us, joining Morley Nelson. His film is Uncontained, and we have to check it out. Where's it streaming at, real quick, Morley? Can you tell us?
All major VODs, Amazon, Apple TV.
Have you done any kind of deal where it's going to go to a streaming service for people? I just didn't know.
So we're about to release the physical, the Blu-ray, and the DVD, and then we're going to go worldwide.
Okay.
So I'm not quite sure. I have to ask.
You do really well worldwide too, man. I think you're going to be quite surprised the way this film's going to come out. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So anyway, we want to thank Morley for being on with us, guys, again. And everybody, Creative Kill, where the guest always has a killer experience. And Morley, I just got to tell you one more thing. You're one of the lucky ones.
Duke City Toys for new and used toys, games, and collectibles. Star Wars, Marvel, DC, board games, Albuquerque's largest selection of wrestling collectibles, and so much more. When it comes to toys, we don't play. Duke City Toys.